Greetings and salutations. Now you're probably wondering, what is this? This is a game from my past. Now this is played on a private server, full disclosure. This is played on a private hosted server because these servers no longer are up. The Sega servers, they took those down. But this game is Phantasy Star Online. And there is three types of things. You have Hunter, Ranger, and Force. Force is obviously Spellcaster. Rangers use guns, and Hunters use blades. Now, in the Hunters, you have Humar, which is your male human hunter. There you go. You have your Hunter Newman, female, which is like an elf, and has the lowest HP of the Hunter class. Note that. The Hugh Cast, which is a Hunter android, they are unable to use techniques, but can use traps. But what they're also unable to do is they're also unable to use, like, they have the strongest attack power, but they are unable to use mana of any description. But they're also immune to poison. They're also immune to paralysis, but they're not immune to shock. At least I think they're immune to paralysis. They may have changed that. And then you have a Hunter android female. She has high accuracy and evasion, but able to use techniques to use traps. But I don't think I have any Rangers. And then we have, obviously, Ranger human male, Ranger human female. They have Ramarls have low HP, but high mental strength. So they can use support techniques like Shift It and D-Band, which give you extra attack and defense. Really helps out. Rockcast, which is just your android, but with range. And then Rockcaseel. Then you have your Force, you have your Fomar, your Fomarl, your Fonum, and your Fonuerl. Now, I don't believe I have a Ranger. Suitable for mid-level players, suitable for beginners, suitable for advanced level players. We will do exactly that. Low defensive power and low HP are challenging to use. Their combination of techniques and quickness in combat makes them unique. We'll do it. I'm always up for a challenge. So we're going to change first off, we're going to change that face. That face is... Okay, that one's just funny, but the rest of them are kind of... You know what, though? That one actually fits for me. Being the old fart. But we're going to go with it. You know what? We're gonna keep the face. All Sephiroth looking. Is there a way to... Well, I was not expecting that. Apparently, right trigger makes me close the game. Oops. That's new to me. So, news to self, don't use right trigger. I was looking for a way to spin the camera around so I could take a look at what the backside and the side of it look like. But, we'll see. I'll try to get back in there and start the game. Yeah, it's the Esphinia Online PSO Blueburst. Mistakes were made. I have two characters on here already, which is... If it would slow down. I have Quiz, and then I have my Fonuerl. Oh, so I do have a Force user. I wanted a Purple Noom. Because they make Sato Mags, which... Sato Mags are a interesting thing. So instead we're gonna go with a Ranger because I don't have one. I kind of want Shift It and D-Band, which means Ramarl's the way to go. Yeah, we'll go with it. There you go, give her an eye patch. Eh, whatever. Doesn't matter. We'll give her the old beret with long hair, but we're gonna change it. We'll give her black hair. There we go. And now the costume color: red, blue. Yellow wasn't too bad. Meh. That's kind of interesting. No. No. Okay, that one's probably the best one to go with. Yeah, pale. Why not? Let's make them short. And make them a short and stocky. Nah, we'll just make them short. No, we'll make them taller. There we go. There, right about there. Perfect. And we'll give it the old... No, what are we going to call it? What are we going to call it? I got to come up with something. What can I call it? Jeez. Naming is going to be the hardest thing. Got it. Nipes. With a Z. And I got a whittle. So that section ID actually plays a part. Because it allows you to... Now, mind you, there's probably going to be custom music. And if there is custom music, again, disclaimer, not mine, don't own it. It's their website. Oh, wait, I went to the Japanese one. Whoops. I'll go back to the ship select. Go to the Fadra. So we'll go to block 1, I guess. Sweet. I will organize a party, create it. Episode 1. Party name is... Just for kicks. And we'll just jam a password in there of blurred. Play mode, normal, difficulty normal, registration. Now you start out, as you can see, with your health and mana in the upper left-hand corner, up here. Here's the medical tent, where you can get healed from other stuff. And I call it the medical tent, but it's a place to get healed. It's medics. This was made back in the old Dreamcast days. And it was made on the GameCube as well. Over here is your check room. Now, your check room is like your stash or your bank. You can deposit Meseta, which is your money, or items. Doesn't really matter. And there's nothing in your deposits. You could check them over. There's nothing there. You'll see. No. I don't want to talk to her again. And then in here, this is a guy right here. This guy here identifies. So if you find something that's question mark and you don't know what it is, he identifies. This guy sells weapons. I did not tell you to talk to him. Must have clicked it down. He's got not a bad handgun. He's got a rifle. Ooh. We'll come back to him later. No, I did not tell you to do that. No. Why is it not letting me do that? Apparently hitting right on the control stick talks to these people. Monomate, Diamate, Trimate. Now, you'll notice these. The Monomates, Dimates, and Trimates are HP potions. The Monofluid, Difluid, and Trifluid are mana potions. The stuff down here, Telepipe, brings you back to town. It's kind of like a TP in Diablo. Trap Vision, duh. Allows you to see traps. Anti-Paralysis, duh. Antidote, duh. Star Atomizer completely heals you and your HP of your teammates. Moon Atomizer revives teammates. Sol Atomizer removes all adverse effects from the body, so that doesn't matter what it is. You can Sol Atomize out of it. Rest is a heal, Zonda is a lightning attack, and Barda is a ice attack. So we're going to back out of that. No, I want to... So I got to hook to the left to get away from them. Because apparently this controller, I told it to auto-detect the control settings, and it's not so good at that. Now, this is not like your normal, like, hack and slash. I did not want the ruins. Okay, I have to change a whole bunch of stuff. Options. Holy crap. Move left, right. Move forward, backward. Yes. Select up. Okay, action palette. Action palette. That's gotta be it. Right? That's... Oh, wait, that's middle. Middle. No. Middle. Right. Left. Action palette top. 4. Menu open and close. We're gonna go with button 8. Camera. Button 5. Action palette change. Button 6. Okay, that works fine. Okay, I don't want that. I want to disable that. I'm struggling already. Okay. Cancel is now 2. Left is detail. Yep. Top. Open menu. Yup. Camera. Action palette changes. Button 6. I don't want it to fire. Okay. This is where I wanted to be. Now, I did not... Okay. This isn't working right. At least the directional pad isn't working right. Can I WASD? Yes, I can. I'm gonna have to WASD to do this. Now, the whole thing is... the way it worked back in the day was you were to... I'll have to sort out the controls, by the way. You have to time your shots. And you have to time your swings. Which made it a really interesting concept, because up until that point it was just all hack and slash. And so this kind of, like, changed the game, so to speak. And it's just, this was a game that I loved growing up. It was fantastic for me. It's very nostalgic. Wait, was that a PAL Rappy? Did I just get it? No, I didn't. Okay, good. Now you'll notice that the Rappies are laying there, right? And you're thinking, why am I standing here? Because the Rappies, when you wait just long enough, they'll start to move again, because they like to play dead. Oh. Aha! Now you can only combo together 3 attacks. So, it's like... That wasn't good. That hurt quite a bit, actually. Take a potion. Oops. Oops. And you have to... make sure that they are in front of you in such a way that your target actually selects them. Ooh, a frame. Like, as if it doesn't select them, you won't hit them. And their HP is down here in the corner. Of course you can't see that because my fat head was in the way. You can only shoot 3 shots in a combo, which means you have to kind of pay attention to all of that, as well as positioning. Now, the heavy attacks there, do have a pushback, a minor pushback. The problem is that, ooh, that's a green frame. That could have a slot in it. The heavy attack has a higher miss chance, whereas the lighter attack has no pushback. Sorry, those things are very loud in my ear. The light attack has no pushback, and can kind of cause some issues. Yes, it's literally a mosquito nest. But this was one of the games that, way back in the day, didn't really have a storyline whatsoever. Realistically speaking, this game did not have a storyline at all. This game was just like, yeah, about that. It's you have to go in to this place called Rogol, this planet right here, and find out why Red Ring Rico, that's her name, went missing. Okay. Now, when you leave a room like this, all the enemies that are on that side of the wall reset to where they were standing. And then you can do this to get a heal. But there are some enemies that can actually fire through the door and kill you, so be aware of that. Whoops. Whoops. I mean, you'd think it'd be more economical to do 3 strong shots, but you'd be surprised how problematic that actually is. It's extremely problematic to pull that off. Now, and yes, this music right here is some of the actual, like, game music from back in the day. I was trying to say that in the lobby they might put up music that's not technically the game's music. I want to check the item pack here. That handgun has 5% to native, so if anything says native, it does 5% more damage. And this frame has no extra slots, but it has higher defensive power by 1, so we're putting it on. My mag is probably hungry. It is. Every so often you have to feed your mag. Now, you end up feeding your mags, as you saw there, potions. Mana Fluids raise mind, which increases your TP and increases your mental strength, or MST. Power increases your power, otherwise known as ATP for attack power. And then Dexterity increases your ATA, or attack accuracy. Accuracy obviously lowers your number of miss chances, and helps you equip stronger ranged weapons. Whereas ATP increases your damage overall, ranged and otherwise. And it helps you equip better melee weapons. And yes, rangers can run around with a melee weapon if you want to. There's nothing that says you can't. Just like, there are some restrictions, like you can't use, like, two-handed swords. Yeah, those dogs are kind of a pain. Now, your mags will eventually evolve. Once they get to a certain level, they'll evolve, and depending on what stats they have, it changes how they evolve. Like, there's tons of mag evolutions out there. So if you want something specific, you have to really aim for it. Like, Sato mag was a great mag to get, but you have to be a faux Numeral, Redria, or Purple Noob in order to make it. Ooh, anti-paralysis. You can feed those to your meg. Ow. And I just died right there. I got crit. When you hear that snap sound, you get crit. Now, your Hunter ID, which is under this menu, where it's down there in the corner, down there in the lower right corner, over there. Over there. Sorry. I forget that it's reversed on the monitor. Over there in the right-hand corner, right? It'll say Whittle. Now, Whittles find stuff that is different than a Skylight or a Viridia or a Purple Noom or a Redria or a Yellow Bows or an Orin or a Pinkle or a Greenhill. They will find different items completely. There are some rare items in the game that only a certain person can get, meaning only a certain hunter can get that item. Only a certain hunter ID. So be very aware of that if you make a character and you're like, man, I really want to play this game. Make a character. You can do some research because it's, like I said, it's an age-old game. So having that research, taking that time to look it up is kind of helpful, because then you're not going to go in and make mistakes and be like, oh, but I wanted to be a whatever. Trust me, I've done that. It's not good. Take some of those. And I want some antidotes. And I want some anti-paralysis. Mostly because I'm going to feed them to my mag for accuracy. Now, there are some things that you can do in this game that are... Gotta preface this. There was PvP at one time. But people never really did it. And it never really took off. And so... it just didn't have a... It wasn't as popular. This game became vastly popular back in the day. I mean, so much so that... there were magazines, video game journalistic magazines, of course, before they turned to manure, that were saying that the neon-y claws of Phantasy Star Online had sunk its neon-y claws into their cerebrum, and they had to play it all the time. That's how addictive this game got. That's how good this game is. It's so good that it's still pulling in 200 to 300 people at 1:19 East Coast time on a Wednesday. I mean, you've got a server that's got, almost 200 people on it. And no, the barbarous wolf is not a rare spawn. He's just a harder version of a wolf. And they're mechanized wolves, and this game is just, this is one of those games that's not about the storyline at all. Like, if you're playing this game for a story, don't. Just don't. The whole point of this game is to come in here and play it and enjoy the hack and slash fun. Because the storyline is garbage. Complete and utter garbage. This is one of those games that had, you know, it's like, oh, 10 out of 10 soundtrack. But, like, you know, 10 out of 10 gameplay. But it's like storyline 0 out of 10. This is that type of game. Oh boy. Now, if you're thinking, what's the difference between like a Force Newman and a Force Human? You know, like a Fomar and a Newum. Well, let me tell you. A Fomar, or Fomarl, whether male or female, cannot regenerate mana unless you put a specific socket item on that says Restore TP. If you have Restore TP on, you will eventually get mana over time. Force Newman, however, get mana over time natively. I know it seems a little broken, but there's a counterbalance to it, right? Whereas Fomar and Fomarl have higher ATP and ATA and even defensive power than the Force Newmans. Fomars and Fomarls can use handguns and sabers and actually fight in melee combat more effectively than a Force Newman of any description. But this game was so pervasive that it literally... This was the game that we were coming home to play every day. We would, you know, we'd come home from school, we'd sit, you know, we'd be on our way back from school, and we would get home and we're like, well, I'm gonna play PSO. And we'd slap it in the Dreamcast and start playing it. And we'd play it 3, 4, 5, 6 hours at a time. Just binge playing it. It's that good of a game. And if you can get a small crew of friends, you and 3 friends, to get on and play this game, highly recommend. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. Now, I did play this on stream a long, long time ago. Back when I was streaming. And I sat there and I thought, you know, I wonder if this is going to get any viewers. I mean, it is an older game. Whoa. I really don't want a boomer up my butt. Watch out. And up in the upper right-hand corner, as you can see there's a mini-map, so it lets me know how close they're getting. Now, there is difficulty levels. After you beat the game on normal, there's a hard mode, obviously. And then there's, like, an even higher mode. There's, like, 3 or 4 difficulties. Each difficulty you go up, obviously the mobs get more health, the mobs have more damage, etc., and so on and so forth. But here's a fun little thing. not only do the mobs get more health and do more damage, they move quicker. They move a lot quicker. Ow. That was a crit. I'm dead. But you don't have... In this game, what you don't have is you don't have durability loss. You don't have... You don't drop Meseta on death. So that's good, right? That's a good thing. But the deaths still hurt, because it ruins your progress, and you have to take... You can't just go down there and pick up where you left off and go, right? So there is a... Like... You feel bad dying. Ooh, that Saber. Has 15 to native. Ooh. I might use that when I'm down there. I know. A ranger using a saber? That's not fair. Well, you'll see. And you'll get to see the melee combat, which is much different than the ranged combat. Ranged combat is just, blink, 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 blink. Cool. You're just plinking them with a gun. Which it is kind of cool that she holds her handgun sideways. So. But here's your, melee combat to some degree. You have... Yeah. We're gonna go with the whole... It's basically a lightsaber, but don't call it a lightsaber. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. Ow. 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 Like, it seems easier to fight in melee combat, but it's really not. It really is not easier to fight in melee combat. An antiparalysis, an antidote. And then I'm going to give it a monomate. Because I want to reduce the amount of mind I'm giving it. I kind of want to go equal strength and agility. You'll see once it evolves the first time, it'll turn into an ugly heap. And trust me, let me tell you, there's nothing more frustrating than building your mag and then getting a wrong piece of, like, a wrong item to feed it. And then you just kind of are sitting there kicking yourself like, I can't believe I did that. Oh, but it gets better. Ow. Well, they only take 12. So you sit there and you think, well, okay, I'm feeding it the wrong items. You can trade the mags over, but you need someone you trust to hold the game open to give the mag to your other player, because you can't, like, deposit it. Now, it gets even better than that. You can make a character that all they do is feed mags, and you just have to basically keep funneling Meseta into that character, so that that character can actively make mags just by buying stuff and then sitting there and feeding it. And yes, there are times I have done that. Ooh. No slot, no slot, no slot. Wow, no slots? Really? Got a good frame, though. And in case you're wondering about the androids, the casts, they restore health ever so slowly by standing still or moving. So, like, if you're sitting there for long enough, your android will restore health over itself. The only way to restore health as another player or another class, another race. So if you're not a cast and you're just like a Humar or a Hunuerl or even a Ramar or a Ramar, you would have to get HP Restorate. Something like that. It's like HP Restore or HP Restorate, and then you can restore HP over time. Other than that, you're pretty much, well, screwed, essentially. You don't get that automatic regen that the casts get. Right there's the portal I'm looking for, but that takes me to level 2. Over here takes me to more loot. Always explore every level of every area, because there will be times that you will find stuff that is just extra stuff, or a loud nest of mosquitoes that makes you want to go deaf. Trust me, it's much louder in my ears than it is on here. Thing is once that thing has already spat out the majority of its mosquitoes, it doesn't spit out more until you start damaging it. I know it looks like... Now, did you see right there, when I hit it, did you see, like, the double rings come up, and they were, like, one ring was like this, and the other ring was like this, and they formed an X? That's a crit. And it has an auditory sound effect cue, as well as a visual cue to let you know you crit them. And it makes you do more damage. Yeah. Rangers eventually do come into their own much later. Ow. I think it's time to go back to the handgun now. The melee is good for certain things, but not good for everything. So, we're going to go back to the gun. I feel like Troy Landry on Swamp People. Shoot him! Get your gun! Whoa! And this should evolve it. Mag Evolution. Photon Blast Estla. Now, you'll notice where it says 0 up there, and you see the red gem, and it's got the 0. You'll see. That'll fill. And when that fills all the way to 100, I get to cast an ability that allows me to... I get to use my Photon Blast. And sometimes your Photon Blasts are good, sometimes they're poo. We don't know exactly what caused them to be good or not. We don't know what they were linked to. We don't know if it's based on the synchronicity of your mag. Oh boy. Now, one of the things you can do is there is a repeater that you can get later on. There's also a lot of really interesting weapons you can get later on. It's not all just photon bullets and stuff like that. There's a thing called a Baron's Launcher, B-A-R-A-N-Z. And if you get the Baron's Launcher, it fires rockets. There's also a thing called a Spread. And they are like a shotgun. They are like Spread on Contra. They fire 5 shots out. and you can hit multiple targets. So it's really nice. You also have Spread Needle. Spread Needle is a unique item. There's a rare item, actually. That is a handgun, and the Spread Needle can fire out in 5 shots. So it's... Like I said, this game is interesting. It has its own flair. And they tried to recapture the flame with, like, PSO version 2, PSO version, not the version 4. The version 4, I believe, is a custom made by the Asphinia people. But they tried to do their own, like, people tried to do their own spin on Phantasy Star. And some people, when they brought up Phantasy Star 2, Phantasy Star Online 2, it's not as good, in my estimation. It pulled way too far away from this original design. And I think that ended up hurting it in the end. But I'll get to the forest, too, after I kill this Rappy and loot it. I've already killed it, I just gotta wait to loot it. And once I loot it, I'll go to the forest, too, and then I'll show you. There we go. Another frame. Can I get a shield or a barrier? That's what they're called. They're called barriers, and they're basically a shield that everybody can use. More frames. As you can notice right up there at the top where it says 20 now, it used to say 0, it now says 20. That's my Photon Blast. If it gets to 100, I can use Estla, which Estla is a dolphin that comes out and goes up and around like this and then goes through things. And it pauses all the enemies in the area. So basically you are immortal when your Photon Blast is going off. As you can see, we're getting further and further into the forest. But this game... There's a barrier. Oh my god, take forever. It gives me more defense and evasion, which means now the enemies can actually miss attacks against me and so on and so forth. It allows me to block their attacks to an extent. Not like effectively block them, like actively block them, but whoa, that's a lot of them. The interesting part is, when dealing with certain mobs, and monsters, you will end up getting, getting crit in the back like that by wolves. It's fine, don't worry about it. Happens every time. Happens to the best of us. But no, you'll find out that dealing with these other monsters, some of them respond more to other spells than to certain spells than others. Ow. I knew I was gonna get a hit. I was trying not to. Nope. I knew it. Stuck. Wait till you see, not the Hildebear. Are they called Hildebears? There's another one that, there's a big gorilla looking thing. And they're the killer of many a young player and many a low level player. And those, I'll point one out. Trust me, you'll see it. Okay, he's dead. Oh my god, more of it? Ooh, Mana Grinder. Now, a Mana Grinder will give a +1 to your weapon. Now, each weapon has its own grind limit. I know that sounds weird, but it does. Like, Spread Needle was +60. That was it. certain handguns, like red handgun. Red handgun was plus 99. And you would need 99 mono grinders to get it to 99. Well, they also have die grinder, which is plus 2, and then they have tri grinder, which is plus 3. And that's it. I thought to myself, okay, well, once you have a gun that's fully ground, it just gives you it just gives you more damage on that element. Well, not element, but just gives you more damage straight away. There are guns that have a special fire, and that special fire does a myriad of things, like causes you to have lifesteal, causes you to have mana steal. Now right there, did you notice I picked up a handgun that says handgun plus 1. Now we go to item pack, we go to equip, we choose our handgun, we go down here to handgun plus 1. It's got 2 extra damage. It still has the same 5% to native, so we're putting that on. Still no socketed frame. I like frames with sockets. Because you can put the stuff in the sockets and it helps out a whole bunch. Your character is vastly improved by socketing items. And it also, when I go... Hold on, here we go. Let me go back out here. You can see it says to next level 75 down in the lower right hand corner. It says that shows you how much experience you need to your next level. Ah yes, Gigaboomas. And you can see how much time and effort you have to put into killing just one of them. And all that work, and you got 7 experience. Ooh, Sol Atomizer. Interesting. Another barrier, which could be better than my barrier, but we won't know yet. I'm hoping to find a rifle plus 1, or not even plus 1, just a rifle. So if I find a rifle, I might be able to do something with it. That has 10% to native, which means it does 5% more damage now than the other handgun plus 1. Yeah. I'm going to be ending it here quick. As you can see now, look at how fast I can drop the Gigaboom, or the Go-Boomers. I mean, and that's the thing about this game, is oh, the barrier proc there. Your character feels like it's progressing. Like, you can see the progression, you can feel it when playing the game. And that's a key thing about playing a game. You want your character to feel like it's getting stronger. You want it to feel like that time and energy you put into leveling it didn't go to waste. Aha! Now, that high-pitched chime and the gold swirl around my thing means that my Photon Blast is fully charged. This is a good thing. Ooh, Psi Armor. I can't even wear it yet. Soon, though. Saber plus 2. Cane. Ooh, Die Grinder. There's that Die Grinder I was talking about. So now I have my Photon Blast saved up, and I can actually fire off my Photon Blast. There's the level. Do, 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 do. And if you notice, I hit control, there was Esla. Don't worry, I'll fire off the photon blast before I leave. Because I know you're probably curious, what does it look like? You'll see. Another frame. Ooh, anti-paralysis. Obviously, episode 1 is one of the easier episodes. Episode 2 is a little bit harder. And episode 4 that they put in is harder still. Well, I have to go back to town, but I can't just yet. So, what we're going to do is we're going to see... That Psi Armor is level 4. It's not socketed. It's got more defense, obviously. Still no sockets. Sad days. Saber +2, handguns, saber, 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 saber. We're gonna feed my mag. That made its IQ go up, but its synchro go down. That made its synchro go up. Alright. I don't think I can pick up much more, which means I'm gonna have to head back to town here. ASAP. Oh, don't worry. Whoop, whoop. Ow. You know what? I'm gonna fire it off. There's the dolphin. That's what it does. And it hit for a lot, as you can see, 245. Now, I can't use daggers. So the daggers there are... Oops. Didn't mean to do that. But I can drop something. So we're gonna drop... We'll drop that frame to pick up the daggers, because the daggers will probably sell for more. But that's what the Photon Blast does. And now I'm going to head back to the portal, head back to town, and call it a day. But I do want to say that if you're willing to give this a try, you can look up free PSO servers, for sure. And try to find them with the authentic one-to-one experience as possible, because it's a whole lot of fun. It really is. I encourage everybody to try this game at least once. And yes, unless you have a telepipe, you have to go back through Forest 1 to get up and out. I know it seems like torture, but it's the way it was. But this game is a joy from my youth. And that's one of the things that I like to do when I'm not talking philosophically on Diablo or sniping with things that don't snipe. I like to play games from my youth that really resonated with me and stuck with me for a long time, and then bring that to you. Because to me, that kind of shares in the experience, like, this is something near and dear to me, and I'm sharing it with you so that we all can enjoy it, right? And that's kind of the way it should be, if you think about it. That's kind of the way gaming should be as a whole. It's like, oh, you're playing a game? Yep. Instead of sitting there and basically, knocking it and telling these people, well, oh, you don't need to be playing games, it's for kids. Don't do that. Don't tell them, oh, games are for kids, etc. Yeah, ooh, that barrier's got less defense but more evasion. Gone. That's 3 levers out. I'm not gonna worry about it. Saber, cane. Alright. Now we're gonna take a look at the old rifles here. What do we got? That's got 5% to machine. Panic handgun. Small gun that fires photon bullets, also has a chance of confusing enemies. Now, if you use your special shot, you can confuse them. But that has less accuracy than the heavy shot. So your normal shot has the highest accuracy, lowest damage. Your strong shot has higher damage, highest damage, lower accuracy. Your special shot does special stuff, lowest accuracy. So the game was extremely balanced, just so you know. But we're gonna probably just grab this old rifle too. We're gonna equip it right now. For reasons you'll see in a second. I wonder... Telepipe. I'll telepipe. Grab antidotes. Grab antiparalysis. Spectacular. And this guy sells armor, by the way. 1 slot armor, too. Shield. Terrible defense when it goes down. See right here, Digger HP. The Digger HP gives you 10 HP maximum when you equip it in a slot. This gives you 10 defense when you equip it, and that gives you resistance to lightning by 5. So these are your little add-ons that you can put in your socketed armor. So if you have like a 3 or 4 socketed armor, and yes, they can get that high, you can pop those in the sockets. Now, you can pop those out of the sockets when you're done with it, right? Like if you're willing to switch up to another armor, you can actually take those out of your sockets. But once you've been to the Forest 2, you can go back there straight away. See, and that takes you back to the Forest 1. But as you can see now, we have a rifle. Not only does it sound better, number 1. Number 2, it also has a longer shot range. Because it's a rifle. Makes sense. Is this the one where they've got the thing that comes in, the bears? I hope not. Because I don't have the ability to deal with them right now. Or is this the Boomas? Booma Trap over here? Booma Trap. Yeah, that's a dirty trick they do. You do have a chance of getting out, but it's a lot harder. Whoop. No, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, really? Well. I'm dead. He's dead. Don't do the bears, don't do the bears. Oh, money, 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 money. Alright. Good thing they didn't drop one of those bears on me. That'd have been really bad. You didn't know what I'm talking about. But, I digress. It's been almost an hour. Actually, in 5, 3, 2, 1. hour-long video. And I didn't mean for it to go that far. And I didn't want to take that monomate. But what I will say is this. This game is a hoot. It's an absolute riot, and I love it. And I hope that everybody gets a chance to try it. I really do. Because I love the game and I think it's wonderful. But I want to thank everybody for coming out and watching this video. I hope you had fun. I know I did. It gave me time to reminisce and go down memory lane again. I hope everybody has a fantastic evening, a wonderful tomorrow, and as always, have a good one.